And we are live.
Hey, great.
And in this magic time, because it's Saturday on Erin's Tchotchkes, Kathy, we have no music, but we dance.
The music's in our head.
We dance to the music in our head because it's always the best. It's like those silent discos. Have you ever done that?
No, I don't think so.
I have not done it either. And the premise, so you get earphones, and everybody there has earphones. And you get to pick the station that you're listening to. And I think there's different DJs. If anybody's watching, I think my sister's done it. If anybody's watching that knows about it, go ahead and comment in there. And so the edges light up, so you know what people are listening to, what you're listening to, but it's silent. You're the only one hearing it. So people dancing in silence. And then there's competitions between the DJs anyway. I've always wanted to do it. It's on the list of things I want to do.
Check this out.
I might make a bigger point of it. You know, we were spoiled being able to go out in public with people, and now we can't. So I think my bucket list is changing.
Well, for right now.
Right?
A temporary tweak.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Erin's Tchotchkes. Today we have our special guest, Kathy, and she shouldn't have told me this story. Kathy Matchunis, but I'm still going to tell the story. So Kathy is an educator. She's been dubbed the child whisperer by one of her clients. She has over 30 years in education, and when she got married and took the name Matchunis, her students said, Matchunis, and she said, just sneeze it out. And so I'll give you a minute to do that in your minds. Go ahead. Sneeze it out. Matchunis. So
God bless you.
And so Kathy, although as a teacher, and you also were an intern assistant principal as well, you're used to getting up in the morning, I feel like.
Definitely. I had over 30 years of getting up at 5:30 in the morning, hitting the pavement, and just keep going, and feed off that teenage energy.
Oh, teenagers, you taught teenagers.
Well, I taught preschool, I taught some elementary, English as a second language, skipped middle school, very good choice, went to high school, and because I'm a slow learner, it took me more than 30 years to graduate from that. And then I did adult education. And so I did every group except middle school. And now I have a son who's a teacher, and he teaches middle school because he's way braver than me.
Right? That's middle school. It does take bravery. There's a lot going on with human beings in that time of our lives. So
that's special space. I do coach middle school kids. That's different.
Yes. Yeah. And so after teaching, Kathy wanted to continue working on conflict resolution, and so she became a life coach and formed the coaching company Connecting Inc., which is an amazing name.
Thank you.
And so that's what you've been doing these days, yeah? Well, and you published the book.
Right. I did that a couple years ago. That was on my bucket list.
I never know what side people are on, so I'm going to pretend you're on this side. Published author right here.
Right.
So tell us about your book, Kathy. Oh, yeah, show it. Yeah. Okay.
Here's my book, Positive Parenting, a guide to engaging and connecting with your child. And I had several clients, kid clients, who said, Miss, you need to write a book. And I'm like, I kind of always wanted to write a book. And then I just heard this so much, I thought, yeah, I do need to write a book. And this book is almost like a reference book that you can keep on your shelf forever. You get your money's worth out of this book, because what I do is I talk about the positive communication from the time they're little through the time they're adult children. And you might not think you might need help then, but you will need help, because just when you think you figured out, okay, they're little, they're cute, we're having conversations, and they don't want to talk for a while, then you kind of get around that. You get through the teenage years and the hormones. Then they become adults, they become their own people, and we have to communicate with them in a respectful, different way, because they actually get to make their own choices now, and they don't need advice on everything.
They don't?
Well, we may think they
Are you
do.
are you sure? Because I like to give my stepson advice all the time.
We like to give it, they don't like to get it. That's the
There
issue.
you go.
But there are ways to sneak it in, and all my secrets are in my book here. And then, of course, they bring different people into the family, getting married, having boyfriends and girlfriends, and negotiating that relationship is very special and delicate as well. And if you want to have a good relationship with your child, you need to be respectful and on good terms with their significant other.
Yes. So I might need to buy your book.
You know, it's an
Sounds
easy
like
read
it's an
and
amazing reference. So where can people get it now?
okay. It's sold out on Amazon. If you don't mind waiting, you can order it on Amazon. But Book Baby, I will drop the link after this. And I have some copies left in my possession. So if you would like to have a personalized signed copy, I'd be happy to mail it to you. And no problem there. Just contact me.
Okay, so if you want to drop in positive parenting in the comments, then we'll make sure that Kathy gets in touch with you so that you can get a personalized copy of her book called Positive Parenting. That's why you're dropping the name in the box.
And it's a book you don't have to read it cover to cover. Like if you don't have babies anymore, skip the baby chapter. You can go right to the teens or adults. I made it really easy so people could read it in bits and pieces and get what they need.
Nice, nice. And so now that you're not teaching every day, what are you working on with Connecting Inc?
Okay, well, right now, what I've been really promoting on my Facebook page is my work with parents. So I like to invite parents to ask themselves the question, how much better would your life be if you did not have to argue with your teenager every day? And,
What would people do with all their free time?
oh, I can help them with that too. And so what I do is I help parents communicate effectively with their kids so that they can have that peaceful home life that they crave and have that strengthened relationship with their child. And I do that through positive communication techniques and conflict resolution skills. And I work with both the parent and the child so that they, when we're going to knock heads sometimes, we can't agree on everything, but when we do, how are we going to approach it in a way that is productive, not hurtful, and ultimately going to help you have a solution that you can use and, you know, so you can move on.
Yeah. And so I know, let's see, in California, I know kids have started going back to school. Actually, the private school near me, they're in-person sessions, so they're back to normal. But I know Florida schools are going back, I think, on Zoom next week. And so I'd imagine that has to be strange, starting the school year like that. I know we finished up the year, but just staying at home, everybody working at home as a family, kids logging in and out of Zoom meetings and like finding space to do their work. And so if kids are struggling with that transition, plus not having the social aspect, I mean, being social is so important for children. And so they're missing that element of school. And so if parents are noticing that their kids are a little stressed out, can they connect with you as well for sessions to help work with?
Absolutely. You know, I do work on social skills quite a bit. And in fact, when I first started, that was my main focus, working on kids with social skills. So, like, let's say your child tends to be a little shy or maybe socially awkward in a few situations, and now they've been removed from a situation where they can socialize and strengthen their skills. Well, they might have done some backsliding, and now they're getting anxious about, like, oh, I'm going to see my friends again. What are they going to think about the way I look, the way I act, the way I say things, whatever, you know, and I can help them with that, make that transition so that they'll feel a little more confident.
Nice. Excellent. Excellent. I feel like it's tchotchke time.
Me too. So
Tell
shall
me
I
what
show
you
you?
got. I love the
Okay.
tchotchke. It's my favorite part.
I have a passport and something called a cédula, and this is from my first trip. Well, I'm cheating a little. I couldn't find my very first passport. I was 19 years old when I decided to take a year off from my education and study languages in Colombia, South America, because it was very economical. And I was working on Russian, Spanish, and French at the time. And I lived with a family, and this was like my very first adventure at 19 years old. I remember taking the taxi, going to Miami Airport, leaving in the middle of the night on a 2 a.m. flight, and it changed my life because I was one of these kids that probably needed to be coached because I was very shy and I didn't have a lot of confidence. And when I went there, first of all, people were very nice to me because they knew I was American in the beginning and all that. And then just living with the family and seeing life up close through another family's lens,
Mm-hmm.
it just helped me, I think, develop a perspective where not judgmental. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is a different way of looking at things, and it was an invaluable experience.
So
I
was
mean,
it like a foreign exchange program? How'd you get connected with the family? And well, and obviously you went by yourself. You left your family and went like across the world.
right, right. My dad had a business contact, and I met him, and I'm saying I'm trying to study Russian. The only place where they offered it was University of Miami. It was extremely expensive. So for like a quarter of the price, I got to move there, work on my Spanish, which I'd taken like 4 years of Spanish, and perfect that, work on my French a little bit, and then I studied at the Soviet Institute there in Bogota, the capital. And yeah, and I just can't even tell you it, and it motivated me when I saw what that did, how the language gets into your brain where you start dreaming in the language and this sort of thing. I said, I'm doing the same thing with French. I went home, I worked like 3 jobs and went all out, and then I connected with a French family. But it was really through my father's business contact that he had cousins, and he said they take in students all the time. So I shared a bedroom with a couple of the girls in the family, and the late night talks and all that. It was, yeah,
Oh,
it was.
that's amazing. And your time in France, were you with a family in France, or did you do that a little differently?
I did it a little differently because in France I was an au pair, so I was like a mother's helper.
Oh,
So
fun.
this lady had 3 children, and she was about to have her fourth. And I'm the oldest of 5, so kids don't,
Right,
scare me.
3 kids is the cake.
Right, right. And that was a little more difficult in the beginning because in Colombia, people were like, are you happy? Are you okay? Are you homesick? And in France, it was more like, well, you're in France. Of course you're happy. And
And
they
I'm
were
not going to disagree.
right, right. And it was wonderful. And I learned how to do the basic family cooking. I mean, I already cook, but I learned their recipes and everything. And cooking is one of my hobbies, so that's really nice. But the presentation of the food and socially the culture, all the cultural things they would talk about. And I was right on the left bank, so I was able to walk to the museum. It was fabulous. I've been back many, many times. I've been very blessed to go back many, many times to France, and it really was a wonderful experience. I'm still in touch with my French family
Oh, I love that.
all these
Oh.
years. Yes. Mhm.
So do you get to are you in touch with the children as well?
Yes,
So you
I am.
care
I
for-
am.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because that little one, he became like my little brother. I remember the last day Madame went and got him out of his crib so I could hold him one more time. Oh, it was so hard to leave him. But he's a successful grown-up now. That
Right.
was
Oh, I love that. And Paris is wonderful. Gosh, now, I mean, I don't know where the time goes. It was 20 years ago
yeah.
that I was
Oh,
there. And so, yeah, it's one of the places I definitely want to return to as a
great.
summer trip. It's beautiful. I love it there.
I'm always ready to go at the drop of a hat.
Right. Well, and now because I lived in California, so it was a much bigger trip, and I forget how much closer I am to
Oh,
Europe
yeah.
now that I'm on the east coast of the United States. I'm like, wait a minute, that's about 12 hours. I can get there in like 6.
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours, depending if you have a direct flight or not.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And what's really great is when I go over there, I have enough contacts where most of the time or at least half of the time, I'm staying with friends, and then the other times I'm staying in hotels. So it's like a real, you know, slice of French life. And it's been very interesting for my husband, who's American, because, this was like total immersion, with all the French people and all. But he
yeah,
got to see France like a French person and not like an American, not like a tourist.
yeah. And a whole other side to his wife, which is
Exactly.
fun because
And
I'm
I
sure
told
you
him,
don't just go walking around the house one day say, you know what, I think this is French week.
there you go.
Just
No, I told him, I said, I really think you have to go to France in order to totally get me, and he appreciates the French culture and all that. And it's really been great.
oh, that's amazing. I love that. Oh, good tchotchke, Kathy. Good
Hmm.
tchotchke. And
And I do coaching in Spanish and French. So
oh,
my level, like I have Hispanic friends, I have a lot of foreign friends. My kids and my brothers and sisters, they always tease me about I have antennae that attract foreigners. So anyway, I can walk into any group and find people who don't speak English. Anyway, I do work with some of my Hispanic friends whose children had different challenges and did that successfully. And then I have worked with French speakers as well on different issues. So, I can really reach out to a diverse community.
okay. Love and then on that note, you're kind enough today to offer a 30-minute consultation.
Absolutely.
And that's complimentary. And are we
Drop chat into the comments. I'd be glad to chat with them because sometimes you can get ideas from people, but how you're going to implement them in your life might be very particular to you. It needs to be customized.
yeah,
So I can just chat with people to find out if coaching is for them and if I can be of service to them.
perfect. So that's open to everyone. That's an amazing gift. Thank you, Kathy. So just plug in the word chat below and we'll connect you with Kathy and set up an appointment. And we talked about that, individual give back, but when you're giving back to the community, what's your favorite way to do that?
Well, in normal times, I used to do public speaking. And I would talk to parent groups, or I would talk to clubs for and activities, groups, schools. Now I'm participating in an exciting program that originated in Coral Springs. It's a virtual mentoring program. I have two mentees, two young ladies who are seniors in high school, and, they're at a big crossroads now. They've got a lot on their plate. They're trying to wind up their senior year, do their college essays, and figure out where they want to go. And they're at that point where they feel like they look at other people and they go, oh, they probably knew exactly what they wanted to do, when they were younger, And so a lot of reassuring and encouragement.
No.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
Children, none of us know what we're doing.
Some of us still don't know. Yes, I know. It's an adventure. It's a journey.
Yes.
So I'm really enjoying that. I support with not just money but also goods the food banks and the homeless shelters. We have one, St. Francis House up near where we live, and I support them. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I offered free coaching because people were in crisis, you know, and you just need somebody to offer a hand. And besides working with parents and their issues with their kids, I work with people on personal and professional development. Maybe they've lost their job, they've lost their confidence, they don't know how to approach things, they haven't had to look for a job for a long time. I have a strong language background, so I help them with their resume and that type of thing. Some people have anger issues when you have something like this pandemic that came about so suddenly. Some people feel very frustrated and angry about it, and I try to give them the tools where they can use this time and be grateful for this time for personal growth.
Nice. Those are amazing give backs. And just so I'm curious about the mentor program. Is that so the folks that you're mentoring, the students you're mentoring, are they working on just kind of what they want to do in the future? Do they have a goal set for the future, or
they have ideas?
Okay.
And they are bouncing some of the ideas. I just started, so I'm just getting to know them. So in the first session, I was really trying to. They were like kind of nervous because talking to an adult, and then they saw that I was a kid person. It was all good. But the thing is that they have all these different ideas, and they need somebody to bounce the ideas off of, and they need some encouragement, and they need to know that sometimes they get paralyzed because a lot of these kids I'm working with, they're like perfectionists. And perfectionism leads to procrastination because, if I can't do it exactly right, I think they'll lie down and not do it at all. And so I'm helping them take those baby steps to get going and giving them support. And like I told them, I'd be happy to review their essay since I have a background in language. And then I also have a friend, because I have a professional contact for them, who does this for a living, where she helps kids get into the college of their kids. So I try to connect them with resources as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. And so is that something that you'd be able to put contact information in case there's kids that want to participate and they're looking for a mentor, or parents who think that might be a great thing? Because I think we've talked about it, not here today, but in other places, kids will listen to adults that are not their parents.
All the time, every day. Yep, that's true. I actually had my own daughter coached when she was looking for a job because it was a little too close for me to do it, and I was trying to, and we weren't getting anywhere. And she went, "Mom, Coach Marilyn told me blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I already told you that. You did it?
Like 5
Yeah. So yeah, it's good for them to hear it from multiple sources, and they take it differently when it is not their parents. Yeah. So Mayor Scott Brook of Coral Springs, he's a lawyer and he's the mayor. He organized this program with a group of young people, and I will drop the contact information in there. Because we want to reach as many kids as we can.
It is. It's been amazing. Okay, so if you guys want to get in touch with Kathy Matchunis,
God bless you.
You never should have told me.
I know. You resist.
Right? Her website is connectinginc.net. You can reach her on Facebook, also at Connecting Inc. And her email is kathy@connectinginc.net. And I will post that information below. If you want a 30-minute complimentary consultation, just drop in the word chat below and we'll connect you with Kathy, or you can use any of the methods I just mentioned and reach out to her directly if you want it to be confidential. You can also private message me if you don't want to just put it on the world. I want to talk about personal things with Kathy. we can hook you up with her so you can get that done. So Kathy, thank you so much for spending Saturday morning with me and sharing your tchotchke and the magnificent ways you're giving back. I love that mentor program. That's
It's so fun. And you know what? It's such a win-win because I was on the line with a friend of mine and she was there like, she's retired from teaching, I think. She's there like, I don't feel very useful anymore. And I said, you know what we need a virtual mentoring program. She goes, yeah, that would be really cool. I hang up, well, I turn off my phone, and all of a sudden this pops up on my email within an hour. Manifestation.
right,
There you go. Yes.
right. So my husband frequently thinks I'm a little Looney Tunes. Last night I said to him, "So I'm missing laundry. Like I have like all these blankets and sheets and towels for my massage business.
Uh-huh.
I can't find them. Like I kind of panicked yesterday, going, "Oh my gosh! Like I really need to do laundry. Like my shelves are empty." And I come home like I don't know where my stuff is. And so I hear this kind of crash in the laundry room. So I go back in there and the little step ladder had just fallen over and hit the dryer. And sitting on top of the dryer is the basket of clean laundry that I did the other day and just didn't put away. So I was like,
Wow.
thanks universe for showing me where my laundry is. I thought of the lost. So
It's amazing how things
you
happen.
don't have to pay attention because you're always getting signals. And this
Exactly.
will be one for you today. So if you're receiving this message, I show up on your feed, Kathy and I are showing up, there might be a reason. So tuck it away in the back of your mind.
And you know, when people talk to me, if I don't feel like I'm the best match for them, I connect them with resources. I do the research for them. I find somebody that will meet their needs because that's what I'm all about, connecting.
It's connecting. Connecting Inc.
There we go.
Kathy, thank you again for joining us today on Erin's Tchotchkes.
Thank you so much.
Have an amazing day, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bright and early.
Bright and early. Have a good day.
Thank you, Erin. Bye.